Chet, and I will be starting as a sophomore at Amherst College in the fall.
Hi, my name is Peggy. I am a sophomore here, a psychology major at UCNJ.
Good evening, my name is Priscilla Marin and I am currently a sophomore here at UCNJ.
Hello all, I'm Christopher and I'm moving to sophomore in UCNJ as a psychology major.
So the psychology team had one big project that divided itself into 4 different categories. The first project that we had was a survey, and the purpose of the survey was to analyze, is there any correlation between caring for plants and mental well-being? Do we feel better when we are surrounded by green spaces, or if we care for plants in general? And soon enough we'll find the answer to that. Social media was a big aspect of our project. It was our marketing outreach in many ways, and that's what helped us keep the memories of the internship, because not only were we able to share with the college and with other people over the internet and over social media what was happening, but we were also able to keep the memories for the intern and for everybody who was involved in the project on campus. Additionally, we had a poster board that you can see on the left side, right side, if I'm not mistaken, of the theater at the Agribusiness News, which was a poster that was updated weekly and allowed interns to see what was going on throughout the week. And additionally, our pride and joy, the Agribusiness Internship magazine, the very first of its kind, who had the mission of collecting all the data, all the projects, and everything that had been happening throughout the internship. And soon we'll learn a little bit more about each of the sub-projects and the impact that they have.
So with all these projects and our psychology team, we had 3 goals in mind. The first one was to facilitate meaningful connection and communication amongst interns and their teams, which involved multiple of our projects, which all improved how we interact and share about both our findings and accomplishments constantly with each other through the entire internship. The second was to utilize social media platforms to increase our visibility and attract public attention, a strategy that has been used by many businesses to expand their opportunistic reaches. For us, it also allows us to be educational about the cross between technology and gardening, something that many might not be aware of. The third was to conduct a survey to support our premise, and caring for plants contributes positively to mental health. One of our first ideas given to us as our status as a psychology team, and finding out about the wellness from plants helps bolster our message and benefit everyone mentally. So for our plants, we started with basil, tomato, and rosemary as our choice seeds. The tomato's growth was the most staggering compared to everything else. It reached closest to a harvestable stage, but instead of harvesting it ourselves, we would give away the potted plants to many visitors and anyone we visited, allowing dozens to cultivate fresh tomatoes in their own homes. Basil and rosemary held the flaw of inconsistency in their growth stages, something that would be in some other plants. Many of them wouldn't grow, they would grow slowly, and the whole board of the seeds would be in various complex stages. But we salvaged what did grow to contribute to the gardens of others, as there were still sprouts that had many potential. Lettuce was planted in the middle period of an internship, and it had a similar story to rosemary and basil, with an inconsistent growth pattern. But still, anything that sprouted from it was harvested. Near the end of our internship was bok choy planted, which used a special method in order to make sure it would sprout instead of have an inconsistent growth.
Okay, so the other project that we did, We conducted a survey to examine the correlation between caring for plants and mental health and people's well-being. We used the Likert scale, scaled 1 through 5. We also used multiple choice questions and an open-ended prompt. And then we analyzed the data using descriptive statistics such as frequencies, percentages, means, standard deviations. And then we also applied some inferential statistics, which included independent samples, t-tests, and a type of multivariable analysis called analysis of variance, also known as ANOVA. So for this survey, we received 103 responses in which 72.8% of the participants reported owning or caring for plants. Most of the participants expressed positive perceptions of plants when it came to the impact on their emotional well-being. The strongest response that we received was the feeling connected to nature, with an average of 4.24 out of 5, followed by life satisfaction with an average of 4.15 out of 5, and then mood improvement with an average of 3.85 out of 5. And then participants disagreed with negative statements such as plants have little to no impact on their emotions, and then caring for plants is stressful. Plant owners also reported a greater emotional benefits than non-plant owners. They reported a sense of accomplishment and mood improvement. And then we used ANOVA to see if there was a difference between different age groups and how plants affected different age groups. For that, it became statistically inconclusive. There was no difference between any, but we did find that the older the participants were, the better their overall mental health was, and the happier they were. So the older participants reported better life satisfaction, less stress, more emotional balance, and just overall better mental health.
Our second project was the social media, as we took care of most of the content created for this internship. We collaborated with UCNJ's Assistant Marketing Director, Margaret Ortuzzo, who was kind to share all of the content we created. Originally, we started with videos that were sort of funny, interesting, to bring attention to the internship and have people looking at us. We did this very funny video where the girls are trying to guess plants, and if they don't get it, they have to solve an equation. Some of them got it right, some of them didn't. And that grabbed a lot of attention, was one of the best performing videos. And then we proceeded with more educational videos about how to build hydroponic towers, how to plant, how to harvest, and how to transplant a lot of our plants. And we then proceeded with collecting all the images about the visits we got to our internship. We had the guest visits, such as Rutgers 4-H. We then had all of the new students, and we also recorded the Grow With Us community outreach event where we handed out plants to all the students in school, and as well as academics. As well, we recorded our Flock Space trip, which was also posted directly by the Flock Space team.
Quick reminder that the poster is over there if you want to take a look at it later after the presentation is over. But the purpose of this poster was to keep all of us updated, because we all have very different aspects of our projects. We all are working on different projects with different majors, and it's hard to keep tab on each other, and knowing that even though we have different end goals, we are working towards the same project and for the same business. So that was the main purpose of this board, to facilitate communication and keep a sense of collaboration and team building among all the interns and all the different teams that was involved.
And at last, our pride and joy that became our biggest project because of Rose Bertins and I's background as presidents of the school magazine, The Sheaf. We were asked to create a magazine collecting all the memories created during this internship. And you can see from the cover how important everything was for us. We proceed then with the acknowledgements to the STEM division, our mentors, Dr. Smalls, who was also one of the most important mentors. Then the editorial board. I'm gonna walk you guys through the whole magazine. The editorial board, Rose Bertin and I as co-editors-in-chief, and Dr. Mohammed as the co-creator and supervisor of the magazine. Then the acknowledgements to the directors, the internship directors or mentors, the Dean of STEM Division and NJ Pathway. Then all of our interns, giving a special spot for our operations and data manager. Then we walk through all of the interns so you can recognize the faces of who did what. Here you can see all of the lists organized in alphabetical order, and we also decided to add a page for all of the teams so you can see which person worked on what and who was working with them. Then we dedicate a page for the training that walks people through everything we did to get to the point where we are. Then you proceed to see all of the projects, the psychology team's project, business team project, engineering team's project, computer science and biology. All of their projects, all of the information in this text was sent directly by each member of each team. Then our internship achievements, it's a page that we dedicated a lot of space to because it collects every achievement we had, our Fox space trip, all of our visits, the visits of the directors, the vice presidents, the deans of the school. Then our reflections, because it was important for us to see what the interns said about the internship because we created this together and we shall remain together. The photo gallery as well, it's some images that went throughout all the internship, the events that we had, our daily life as interns, or events outside of the campus, some of our visitors, as well as some of moments between us or harvesting, and also us sharing some work together in the big greenhouse and the small greenhouse. That's the end of the magazine, and this is our final page saying thank you to everyone.
We have a quick conclusion statement, and being part of this internship has been incredibly rewarding and stimulating, both from a psychological point of view, but also from a marketing aspect, because though we use social media often, it's hard to realize that it has an impact for a business, and it has an impact more than in sharing pictures, and it can lead to sustainable development, and that overall plants have an impact on us. Therefore, it is important to keep green spaces, to keep UCNJ green and the places around us green as well. And we would like to acknowledge.
For our acknowledgements, we want to thank Dr. Mohammed and Dr. Smalls, the internship directors, Dr. Kim, our team's own mentor, UCNJ's Assistant Director, Marketing and Communication, Ms. Margaret Ortuzzo, we want to thank very much. And at last, UCNJ and NJ Pathways for allowing this project to happen.